shit, yeah, we're doing a show on shit. Fuck.
Good of you to remember.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I just thought we were just having a bit of a...
What's that? First bleep at 9 seconds.
just having a josh, aren't we, guys?
Just turned up to take the piss out of Hot Boss and follow
Okay.
Hello, welcome to the big show. Yes, we're here to take the piss out of Righty's boss and take the piss out of Richard for being shit at checking his email.
I've not got an email. There's no email.
Don't you lie to me, boy.
There's no. Oh.
I sent Righty the picture of the iCal thing. As you can see, I've done the bookings, which is why we've overbooked. God, I'm shit. To be fair, I forgot that Muller was coming, even though he was sat in the room when I said, Patrice, do you want to come on the big show because we're short? We weren't short, but that's my excuse. Not that that's an excuse, but there we go. Joining me to discuss the big week, there's loads to go on about this week. If you're in the NHS, then everyone knows what condition you've got by now. So don't worry. It's been done today, mate. The hack is unreal. Joining me to discuss the week in tech, starting us off top left, Camps.
Evening.
What the fudge have you been up to, boy?
It's a bit of a standard week, to be honest. Busy week at work. I've been on call all week, and yeah, could have had a better one from that. So between call outs and a 9-month-old boy. Sleep has been rare this week, but it's the weekend now.
God,
again?
Is he 9 months?
Yeah, 9 months old now, and today started crawling as well.
Oh man, now you're
so
in trouble.
Baby gates are coming out this weekend, out of the garage.
Now you're in trouble, mate.
Yep.
God,
My job for the weekend is to fasten stuff down, secure doors, baby gates, the lot.
Move.
Good luck, man.
Ferberize the place.
Absolutely, yeah. He's off. He's off now.
Excellent, mate. Good. Glad to hear it. Next to him, there's I haven't got a clue. Is it Jeff Gammett?
Oh, hey. Yeah,
Hello,
I guess it is me. How's it going, Ewan?
Oh, it's all right, man. What's been going on in Gammetland?
Hanging out, having a good time. Watching my country implode around me. The usual.
It's going well over there, then.
Yeah, I can't wait to see
politics, by the way.
what government we have next week.
No, you'd be Italy then.
Well, at least the wine's good.
No, it really isn't.
Oh, well, then you haven't been drinking American wine, now have you?
Oh, I don't know. General Jackson. Is that the one? He's all right. And Ernest and Julio Gallo, Turning Leaf Cabernet. That's pretty nice.
It's okay.
All right.
I'm not a big Gallo fan. My problem is I'm sitting here talking about the quality of wine when I'm actually a bourbon guy. That's what the problem is.
I just think it's excellent that we've got the next ambassador for the US on the show.
Yeah.
US ambassador to the United Nations, Jeffrey Gammett, who goes, yeah, well, I want shit. Italian wine's excellent. Now, I actually went to a wedding where they had Italian wine the other week, and it was great. It was really, really, really nice. So, and there's no jokes about Italian wine going backwards.
That lost me.
That was the Second World War reference there. Next to him, it's Rich the Switch, as in the man who can't turn up because he didn't get the email, allegedly.
I didn't get the email.
How long are you going to throw this line around for, Rich? Jesus Christ, mate.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, he's just ignoring me now and talking to the listener.
Sorry, what did you do? I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Mr. BBC.
Sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear.
I said, how the devil are you, mate?
Oh, thank you. Sorry. Right, I'm fine. I'm a bit confused and flustered and all that sort of thing. I'm a bit not with it, but I'm otherwise fine.
We know that's why you're only just here, but never mind. There's going to be a taking all night about you not replying to the invite, whether you got it or not. Just accept it. Deep Pan says if you pull out the cork, the wine surrenders.
Okay, I get that joke.
Yeah. Next name is Righty Boy. It do be Righty who's shitting himself going into work on Monday.
I do be all right, mate. I do be all right.
You pulled out the union and we pulled out something else, mate.
Yeah. I think that pulling out is the least of my worries right now. Quite literally.
Have you had a good week?
I've had a fantastic week. I'm great. I'm going to be stuck. I've got a day of being stuck at the effing hospital tomorrow. They're going to test me, MRI me, ultrasound me, X-ray me.
Are you pregnant?
Well,
did you not wear any protection, mate?
Well, do you need to do that?
You put that rubber glove on the wrong hand, didn't you?
So you're having an ultrasound because that horse cornered you?
I've got my cycle helmet. Does that work?
You got your cycle helmet? Yes, that kind of works. But not if it's a Borden helmet.
Oh shit! I'm absolutely screwed then, aren't I?
Deekpan says, "Don't worry. If it's an NH hospital, they won't have your records anymore."
No, that was the question I asked my wife. I said, "Have we got MRI tomorrow morning?" She went, "Yeah, Norfolk's okay because we've got no freaking internet anyway, so you can't infect us." they were kind of like, "Yeah, so NHS IT system's gone down. Most NHS departments gone down back to pen and paper." I was like, "Well, we're doing that anyway, aren't we?"
So that's the second sweary at 6 minutes 34. Both righties as well. Jeez.
Sorry,
Righty, you potty mouth. righty do be a potty mouth.
I do be.
I do be. Next. Shit. I haven't done the intros. We're 6 minutes in. We've got two swearies. This doesn't bode well, does it?
Just put an explicit tag on and be done with it.
Patrice, how the devil are you, mate?
I'm doing great, actually. I mean, the show has just started. It's already insane. So I mean, this can only get better.
You're sitting there
right?
going, I didn't have to be here, you know?
No, but I wanted to be here, so I'm here.
You did the Mac show this afternoon. That was pretty brilliant. Yep. That was a great show, actually. I really enjoed that one.
It was.
Watching Adam stay quiet about the series stuff when everyone's going, it's utter shit.
Yeah, that was great.
And last but by no means least, the seventh guest, no less.
Seventh?
Well, he's actually sixth, but doesn't matter. Seventh guest is a reference to a fantastic trilobite game. It's Muller. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, fine. Thank you.
Muller, who's been to Yellowstone and still hasn't done the washing up, according to the picture.
It is an old T-shirt.
No, the washing up's in the sink behind you, mate.
Oh, right. I thought it was on about.
If you do get a chance, then that'd be fantastic. Thanks.
I'll do it during the show if you want.
Yeah, good lad. That won't come out on mic.
That won't come out at all.
If you've got records in the NHS, think again.
So does everyone else?
And if you don't know what the NHS is, then you will do soon because it'll be in your email from a Nigerian prince. Who's got this week's story? Who's got the must-have, the will-be, the I can't do without? And right, what is it with you and the fingers?
I beat him this week, Ewan.
Hey?
I beat him this week.
Did you bugger?
No, you didn't.
Hey, you didn't.
Check the chat room, boy.
Oh, yeah, I'm all right, fine. My view says I did, but clearly not.
No, well, your view is I don't know. How can your view be different from my view?
I have no idea. Anyway, go on.
You.
We've got different stories, so it's all right.
Maybe you're in different time zones?
I'm a gent. Let Camps go first.
Oh, look at that. That's brotherly BTN love right there.
Go on.
So Camps, I mean, it's not a tough one, is it, mate, this one?
It's not.
What shall I talk about this week if I'm first? NHS being hacked? No.
No. I went with with Amazon's newest unveiling. So last week it was rumoured. This week they unveiled the latest Echo product, the Echo Show. They've what they've essentially done is packaged up the Echo devices, put a 7-inch screen on the front, enhanced the microphones, and a few more bits of software functionality, and they're releasing it in June.
Is there not a wee camera on that as well?
It is. There's a 5 megapixel camera on the front of it. It's going to allow video calling so essentially within the app you can permit friends and family to be able to drop in on you.
Nope.
Sounds dangerous.
Not turning that on.
So anyone who's under 30 who's got their partner bent over the kitchen work surface, you might want.
Well, the worrying thing is you can say, so you're watching the video, you can say call mum, drop in on mum, and then it gives mum 10 seconds because it knows when she's online. It gives her 10 seconds to either say reject or voice only.
It gives dad 10 seconds to hit the vinegar strokes.
It does. It's a 10-second panic countdown before the world sees.
Dad, stop slapping her on the arse.
Oh, mate, if you're a kid, you're never going to get over that. There's no therapy in the world that's going to resolve that one for you, is there?
Can you imagine that?
It's ironic as well that the picture that Amazon have put out have got all you need is love.
Which is the worst lyric ever because it's only two lines.
Alexa, show my playlist. Well, I've seen a little bit more than that. Oh, man. Mommy's that a leather bra or new shoes?
Alexa, buy more Vaseline.
Alexa, confirm.
Oh, man.
This one's gone wrong.
Fasttech.com, please show me my shopping list.
Yeah.
My name's Ian Rankin. You can get me at Ian Rankin on Twitter. We'll be back with the big show next week, as normal, on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Thanks for listening.
This thing's not on sale in the UK, though, is it?
But we just put in the frigging chat room show title. Which one?
No, you're right, Muller. No date for UK yet, but going on previous Echo devices, what we're talking
2 years.
12 months.
2 years.
2 years.
At a price of £400. 500.
So it's $229 allegedly coming for Jeff imminently.
Well,
Yeah.
just Jeff.
Just Jeff. That's right. Just Jeff imminently. Is this going to play Amazon Prime content for you as well?
It does appear to. Should show your Prime Video, your Prime Photos, and you can play your playlists
And
on the 7-inch screen. I'm wondering, could this be a precursor to an Amazon TV somewhere down the line?
No.
I don't see any of the content providers making a TV, surely.
No. Why would they?
I don't know.
Because they can get
Amazon are prepared to give stuff a go, let it fail, move on.
Yeah, but why would you play it on a little 7-inch screen when you've got a TV in the house?
I agree.
I think the content providers aren't going to go for TVs. That's why Apple's TV was about testing an interface rather than it being the TV. And I don't think that Amazon has got any impetus whatsoever to make TVs. They can't, unless they bought LG or something like that as a lock, stock and barrel, then fair enough. But there's no issue. This is an Amazon Fire tablet in an Echo, isn't it? Effectively.
Yes. Yeah. Blend the two together.
You could play your photographs on it, though. They've got the
You can.
Amazon photographs, so
You got.
might be trying to encourage you to buy more photographic space.
Depends what mum and dad are up to. You don't want those photos of the bloody thing.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I've just written down a slow title: Dad slapping mum on the arse.
I don't think that should go out.
That shouldn't go out. Yeah, you think they're gonna tend to that just a little?
I think so.
Just a little.
Am I the only one
Depends
who's
on the ass?
Am I the only one who's thinking that the color choice is a little bit odd, given that, I mean, you would probably use that in a kitchen? I mean, I think a white device in the kitchen that will look dirty within...
either colour, Trace. Black or white.
Mm-hmm.
Is it me? Does the black one look different from the white one? No, the white one's got some depth.
Yeah, because one's black, one's white.
No, but the black one, it just looks like a tablet. Look at the black one. It's just like a tablet.
I think that's just the image, isn't it?
It's just the image.
Yeah.
It's just how the image is captured.
I think it's kind of an ugly device. It looks to me like what someone in 1985 would have thought this kind of device would have looked like in 2015.
Is this a Back to the Future 2 screenshot, do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, it could totally be that.
Could be.
See, I mean, if you look at the picture that's got a chopping board on it with a dog with an amazingly long tongue, that's not a reference to anything. That's just there's a dog with an amazingly long tongue. But they've obviously thought about the angle and the base weighting of it so that it's not going to tip over easily. Because they could have made this significantly slimmer. There's no question of that. If you look at 7-inch form factor technology for screens, this could be wafer thin and have nothing to it at all. And the speaker slot that's there's no way that they need a speaker slot that large. I bet you the speaker's probably a tenth of the size of that and still sounds good if it's a Bose-esque type unit. I think they've thought about the weighting of this thing and how it's going to sit on the counter and the angle it's going to present itself if you want to use it for recipes or that kind of stuff. Surely it doesn't look ill thought out in my mind.
See, I don't like the fact that you can't change the angle that it's at.
Yeah,
that looks like it might get annoying.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Well, you prop the knife under the front edge, don't you?
You could.
So why do we really need a screen on this? I mean, we're talking about voice interaction devices, and voice only is something that the Echo actually does pretty well.
No, but
Yeah.
But you can't see the dog then.
It's for the video calling, I think.
That's true.
Yeah, video calling and then recipes. I mean, what you just mentioned, I think Rich said it, right?
Or the animal with the amazingly long tongue.
But Jeff,
there's that too.
Jeff, didn't you just do video calling this week? Oh, you did voice calling over the Echo, didn't you?
Yeah, that just started yesterday.
Yeah, and you liked it.
I did, and I kind of changed my mind because I realized there's no way to turn it off. There's no way to stop it, and anyone that gets your phone number, they can start calling you through your Echo, and you just can't stop it. So it's this cool, fun thing that does exactly what we've been able to do for years with all kinds of devices. And it's just kind of fun right now. But I am so not looking forward to the first time my Echo at 3 a.m. tells me that someone's calling me.
True. But does anyone with any kind of nerd brain, does anyone remember the Chumby?
Yeah.
Or SpongeBob SquarePants?
No, the this is the Chumby in the next generation.
Right.
Because that was like an alarm clock stroke talk to kind of device that did information that was, I think it looked like a beanbag and it was shite. And Amazon had put a screen on it and said, we're going to do this. Because the Alexa was just this thing where you could talk to. You've got the look, you've got the tap, you've got the show. I don't see the point. I really don't.
But that's maybe because you haven't used it yet.
But I've got an iPad that I don't use. I've got a.
No, I mean, I'm pretty good with tech. I like my tech. I buy the tech and I use the tech, and I use it for what I think I need it to fit into my life with. But the acid test is my kids, because my kids will go on YouTube. They will find out the nth degree of what this thing can or cannot do, and they'll come down and they'll be going, "I did this with it." I'm like, "What? Why would you do that with it?" Well, I watched a YouTube video on it, and that was it, because they found out you could do it. And it's ridiculous what they can work out that it will do, but they'll analyse it to the point that they then fit it in with their life, whereas I will analyse it to the point that it fits with my life, and anything more than that I'm not interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key part, is that it's a generational gap. The fact that you are going, what am I going to use this for, Righty, is because you're an old fudger like me.
Well,
no, I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean that seriously. There's a group of us here who are of an age. I'm 50 years old. Rich is probably the youngest. Jeff's older than me. Camps is only 10 years or 8 years younger than me. Righty Boy's a couple of years younger than me. And Patrice is a young whippersnapper who's probably up with Patrice. And Muller's only got death left. So, and you look at what's going on with technology, and we make it fit our lives, whereas kids don't. They make that they know they adapt their lives to fit the tech, and there's a bit of that I love, but there's a bit of that scares the shit out of me as well as.
Do you know the Chumbies making a comeback?
Do you want to use the mic, even though it's not on?
The Chumbies making a comeback.
Is it?
Look at the link I put in. The Chumby from 2008 is making a comeback. So.
Well, jolly good, mate. Thank you for that contribution.
Right.
This brings an end to our great national nightmare.
Do you remember the Chumby? There we go. It's a little tiny shitty screen there, mate.
I think once Chumby see what Amazon are ready to knock out, then they might be a little bit unhappy.
I think the best part of this story entirely is the fact that Phil Schiller is quoted the day before saying what all these voice systems needs is a screen, and the following day Jeff goes shabang, mate.
The Chumby looks like it's been embedded into a deflated football.
All right, here's another thing that bugs me about the voice assistant devices like this. When you put a screen on it, you're now tied to a location for using the device because you'll want to have the display. With the Echo Dots that I have right now, it doesn't matter where I am. I just talk to the air, and as long as I'm within range of either of my Echo Dots, which is pretty easy to do, it just does something.
But doesn't that depend on how it's implemented? I mean, you could use the Echo, the new one with the display, just like the old Echo Dots, if everything with voice works like before. So it's only for the things where you actually need the screen that you have to go to that location.
Yeah, and once there's a screen, the developers will feel like we need, that are making all the apps and skills, they're going to feel like we need a screen for everything.
Okay.
It's
good
human
point.
nature.
The worst thing I ever bought was an Alexa.
No.
Yeah.
Alexa's
absolute.
bloody awesome.
No, it's not. It's what do you ask it for?
Cancel. Cancel.
Cancel. That's the only thing you ask it for.
I think the only thing we ask it for a fart now and then, and it go, and that's great.
Does that do that?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Hang on. Alexa, fart.
No, you got to enable the fart skill.
I've got to enable the fart skill. That's oh man, that's the 21st century right there.
Yep.
But apart from enabling, I bought it, and when it first came out in America, I was like, oh yeah, Alexa, I'm going to talk to it like this, like the computer on the Starship Enterprise. I'm going to be so cool. And now I ask it for a fart. I sometimes ask it for a news briefing, but apart from that, I really don't give a shit.
Weather? Have you got Prime? Have you got Amazon Prime though, Righty?
Yeah. And for buying things now and then, it is great. But I tell you what, I turn a lot of that off because I have a 10-year-old daughter.
Yeah, but she wouldn't buy it.
No, but she could buy stuff on it.
Yeah, but she wouldn't because she's a sensible girl.
Yeah, but no one in this house
she's more sensible than you are.
Well, yeah, everyone's more sensible than I am. Jesus Christ, that's proven. But do you got when you get up in the morning, the first thing you do, you get hold of your phone, you look at your phone, you look at Facebook or Twitter or the news and those sort of things. Do you get up in the morning and talk to your Echo?
Yes, I
fudging
love the Amazon Alexa, mate. It is brilliant. We go down, we get
every
it to play
morning.
music,
I get out of bed and talk to
we
mine
ask it
too.
the time. I ask it to turn my lights on and off. I ask it to time my tea. And my kids come down and use it regularly. They use it for their homework on a constant basis. And Batwin just put something in here that's really good. She said, I can imagine this conversation just before the TV went ballistic. What's the point in putting a screen on a radio? And she's right. She's dead right.
Yeah.
Dead on.
Great point.
You absolute Philistine, right, you boy.
The first thing happened when I got my Alexa. My wife went, "There's another woman you're going to talk to instead of me."
How many have you got?
Just the one, and she's unplugged right now because I don't bloody use her.
You've got a wife you can unplug.
Oh God, she listens to this shit.
You've got to explain that technology to me because, damn. I've got to say, I love the idea of this because it would sit perfectly on the end of the breakfast table where we all sit. The kids are constantly using it, play, so and so. The other morning, we went downstairs and the kids were putting on some shit that they always listen to. That's actually not a bad song, but it's just I'm sick and tired of hearing it because they just play it to the nth degree like kids do. And I said, you clearly haven't listened to Sheena Easton, have you? And they went, what? I said, Alexa, play Sheena Easton Morning Train. There we go. And he played it, and me and Sharon are bopping from side to side taking the piss.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Here we go. And it's playing in the background. And my kids, right, they're looking at us like we're a pair of lunatics. And then at the end, which is really bad, Ellis goes...
Which you are.
No, hang on. Ellis goes, that's really catchy. And he has played it constantly since. It's backfired on me. But that access to that kind of and he says, so Alexa, play AC/DC, and she comes out with, she plays classic AC/DC, and Ellis is like, oh, that's shit. What's
and then wrong with your son?
No, but then he'll play the one from Iron Man, and I go, oh, I love this track. It's the same band. You're just conditioned to listen to a movie and not. So I've expanded his musical horizons using it. I think it's brilliant. I absolutely love it. I think the Amazon Echo is the best thing I bought in the last couple of years, easily.
See,
I like mine so much. I have two.
There you
So
go.
I can be anywhere in my place and just talk to the air, and my Echo responds and does whatever I need it to do.
Rich, have you got one?
I have got an Amazon Echo.
Well, you've been remarkably quiet considering.
Say again, sorry?
You've been remarkably quiet considering.
Yeah, it's...
If you're being polite, mate, it doesn't work on this show. You need to just jump
No,
in, mate.
do you know what it is? I've got the same problem as Paul, that I love it. It's a great idea, but it's an alarm clock.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. It's an alarm clock. It occasionally gets asked the weather. That's pretty much it. It does that well. It's really great, but
You have nasty.
do you know what though?
About flash
I'd
briefing.
still be willing to give this one a go. This one with a screen.
Good lad. Well done.
I think I'd be up for that just to see what it did.
Your connection's
we'll
got a bit
see.
choppy, so if you could stop downloading the porn, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm having severe Wi-Fi problems at home.
Oh, you got to do wired, mate. You can't do Wi-Fi on this show. You got to do wired.
Yeah, my trouble is I'm 3 floors above the box.
Well, I think 5E's pretty cheap.
I bet one of those things to use the wiring.
I do need something, but there's something wrong because it's only started happening about 3 days ago. Nothing has changed at all, so I don't know what it is. If it gets bad, let me know.
You're getting bent over by your provider as normal. Microsoft next mobile strategy is to make iOS and Android better. Righty boy, talk us through it.
They do be trying to make iOS and Android better. So last week I was a bit down on Microsoft, wasn't I? With Windows shite. I mean Windows S.
10 shite, yes.
Yeah, 10 shite. But they had the Build conference this week, and I think they're getting clever again, because we had that thing where Microsoft weren't doing too well and they were releasing things on iOS and that sort of thing, where they did Office and stuff on iPad first, and you're like, okay, they're getting the idea, and don't tell Jeff for a Jim, but Windows Phone is dead, and Microsoft understand that. But they understand that, well, as Satya Nadella says, we probably have an average of 5 or 6 devices, and certainly us nerds probably have 5 or 6 devices. One of those may be Windows. In my case, yes, one of those is either be at work or at home. And they're looking at ways to integrate their systems that you could pick up in the same way. Is it handoff, or is it what's the iOS one where you do a Pages document and then you get your iPhone and your iPad and it carries on? It's not a handoff, is it? It's
Continuity.
Yeah, that's handoff.
continuity.
Or yeah,
Continuity.
continuity.
You're right.
Yeah, but I don't use any of the cloud Apple stuff because they're all rubbish. I'm heavily invested in Office 365 at home and at work. So to be able to pick up on a lot of the stuff that I do at work and home is quite handy. So they're doing the things that they're looking at iOS and Android going, do you know what? Our apps need to be on those platforms instead of our own. So they're not putting the investment into Windows Phone anymore. There was no talk at Build about the supposed Surface phone. I don't think they were going to be into that. But they also, I don't know if you've seen it today, one of the sessions today was the new design language of Windows 10. And it's absolutely beautiful what they're doing. And it makes OS 10 and a lot of the other operating systems look a bit old. And I think Microsoft's have really got it. And I feel really bad for being down on them the last couple of shows.
No, hang on. I mean, the one thing I will say is about Microsoft, I haven't seen an awful lot of what they've done in people's hands. And you can always make a promise, but you've got to deliver on that promise. And until they start putting real products in real people's hands, I'm not going to cut them any slack.
Exactly. And they have messed up quite a lot. So, I mean, maybe this is now the point where they start getting good.
But the fact that they've realised that because there's a lot of people who are flogging a dead horse on their mobile operating system. We've talked about this before. We said a few shows ago that we were kind of upset that the only operating system we're going to have were Windows and Android. But Microsoft is the first company who's gone, do you know what? We're not actually going to win in the mobile market. We're going to bring our stuff to iOS and Android. And in an enterprise kind of push, and I say the Windows 10S thing wasn't really kind of lighting my world on fire, but the fact that they're saying, do you know what, if you are an enterprise user or someone who uses Office 365, we can just move these sort of things into the mobile operating systems that are king at the moment, which are iOS and Android. I think that's a great admission for them because they took a huge bath on the Nokia thing. I don't know if anyone knows how much it cost. It was so many billions or whatever.
A couple of billions, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it
to
like
take
8
that,
billion?
Yeah, exactly. But to take that and say, okay, we've written that off, and we now know that the operating systems are iOS and Android. And as I've said before, that's a sad thing. But the fact that companies like Microsoft, with the money and the R&D behind them, are really thinking about, okay, we need to be somewhere. We're not going to be on our own OS. We're going to be on the other OSs. I think that's a really good move for them.
Yeah.
And I think companies like BlackBerry and all those sort of things, where they've tried to use Android and they've tried to use this and that. And I think Microsoft is really making a really good push. And I haven't got the link right here because I can't get to the chat room for some reason because it's locking me out. Might be getting back in there. But I think it's called Microsoft Graph is the thing right now where it does the continuum type thing. I think they're being really clever right now.
I just come back to, I like the way they're thinking, but I don't like the way they're delivering because they aren't delivering.
Yep.
They're promising, they're not delivering. And anyone can promise. Elon Musk has promised a trip around Mars, but he ain't delivered it.
No, but the difference between going to Mars and being able to carry on the dock from a Windows device to a phone.
You should have a commercially available Halo by now. Same as you should have a commercially available Oculus Rift at under 500 quid, which it isn't. I'm sorry, but I know you've seen HoloLens, haven't you, Righty? You've played with it and you've seen it hands-on, and it's been on your face. But I can't buy HoloLens.
Well, no, you can't right now, and there's a reason for that because it is a developer.
Because they haven't done it yet. That's my point. Until there's real products in real people's hands, Microsoft are doing nothing. They are promising an awful lot, and I like the way they're thinking, and I will gladly give them slack to generate and deliver that. But at this point, they still have not delivered.
But we'll take another example. Do you think the acquisition of Mojang and Minecraft was a good idea? Because I think they're pushing that really hard. And we're using that at university. Schools are using that right now. I think a lot of their acquisitions and the things they're pushing are actually quite good. And I think
I totally agree. I mean, I used Redstone to explain to Ellis and OR gates and electricity.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
And they saw that as an education thing. It's being pushed out with Windows 10S, along with Office 365. They are falling behind Chromebooks and Chrome OS and Google Docs and all those sort of things. But I'm forced in the industry that I'm in to work with Office 365, and I work on a Mac all day, and I'm forced now and then to go to an Office 365 document, and then I'm lost. If I leave that document, I'm lost. And I think that they've got the courage of their convictions, and not the courage thing that Apple keeps saying they've got, because that's rubbish. I think they're just saying we have no mobile OS, but we're going to make the best of it. And they're the first company, as you said, we're going to make the best of what's left. It's not our platform, but there are other platforms we can be on, and I think they should be commended for doing that.
Well, yes and no. I mean, do they have a choice? Not really. I mean, I think they have realized that their own operating system is dead. So what other choice do they have? I mean, they could do literally nothing, but I don't think that is the solution. So the only other solution the only other thing they can really do is go on the two biggest platforms. So I wouldn't commend them for really doing that. How they execute it, that will be the interesting part.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Sorry.
Go, Jeff.
No, I was just saying you can commend Microsoft for being smarter than BlackBerry, because BlackBerry refused to see that they had lost their market, whereas Microsoft gets that they just can't own the mobile market, so that instead they'll just be everywhere.
You can commend the monkey for being smarter than, I don't know, a cat. So
yes, you can.
I don't think that's the measurement we should use.
But Microsoft could have left their Windows users in limbo, which a lot of companies have done, where they've given up on the mobile market. And I think it's great that they're coming through with these sort of developments. So what I'm trying to do is I got a lot of criticism last week for being a bit down on Microsoft. So I'm trying to be nice. So everyone lift me up a little bit and say, look, right, he's being quite nice about Microsoft, because I don't want any more emails or tweets this week where they're saying, right, he's down on Microsoft. So what you all say is, what a nice guy he's been about Microsoft.
What a nice guy he's been about Microsoft.
Thank you, Muller. There we go.
Actually, isn't Google turning its back on Android a bit? It's going like with
well, isn't it their operating system?
Fuchsia, yeah. Isn't that going to cause another fracture in the market?
I have no idea.
You're not the experts, not me. I'm just throwing another spanner in the works. I'm just walking away after exploding that grenade.
Someone help Muller. He's trying to be nice to me. So come on, this is the first time for everything.
I'm trying to be nice to you, mate. Come on.
Yeah, I know you are. But no one's helping you.
I think Microsoft are making good noises. I just want to see some action. That's all I'm saying.
I think you're right. This is a survival exercise now for Microsoft in terms of what they can do on the mobile platforms. And I agree with Patrice. They have to do this. They've got to do this to stay relevant in mobile. I don't think they've got a choice. Otherwise, it's desktop platform only for them.
Comments in the chat room from Deep Pan. I think MS are way further ahead than most realise, but don't notice, as people are still focused on the hardware. It's what is in people's hands, and I don't think there's an awful lot more in iOS's hands as far as Microsoft's concerned, with OneNote and a few other things. Are they being all mouth and no trousers for you? Says Batwinch. To a certain degree, certainly. Look at the Surface.
What's all mouth and no trousers?
You don't know that phrase?
I've never heard that one before.
So it's basically that you. As an example, no. So as an example, it's like when you've got a teacher at school who you really fancy, who's like 30 years older than you, but you do really fancy her, and you want to go in the storeroom with Miss Smith, and then she actually goes, Jeffrey, do you want to come in the storeroom with me? And you just shit your pants instead, and you don't go to the storeroom with her.
Okay.
It's all mouth and no trousers. There you go.
Got it.
But just going back, have you used the full suite of Office 365 apps? So have you used Planner, Delve, Power Apps, and all those sort of things?
No.
See, that's the thing you need. So you've got something like Power Apps, which is a great Microsoft app in the cloud, where you can build your own help desk, you can build your own ticket systems, all those sort of things. Planner's great because you have a a shared area for collaboration, shared file storage, all those sort of things. They're the sort of things that at the moment you can access through a web browser to bring, and they're completely missing on mobile. And Google's not doing the same thing. Apple's not doing the same thing. They're filling a hole in the market that's actually there that no one actually realizes. But if you're like saying, if you're not using those things, if you go and look at what Microsoft's actually doing in the cloud, it's actually some really clever stuff. To bring it to mobile's great.
I mean, Azure, for example, Microsoft's basically AWS copy. It's really great. I mean, for developers, and I mean, if you want to do hosting and so on, I mean, it is great. I'm not saying that Microsoft isn't actually doing good things. I'm just saying we shouldn't commend them for making basically an obvious decision that they have to do to survive. So that was my point. I agree with you definitely that they are. I mean, Office 365 is great, except for, I mean, the whole email part. Exchange is horrible, but that's a separate story. But I mean, the rest of the apps are great, and so yeah, they're heading in the right direction, and it's just a matter of can they execute on everything else that they have promised. That is the big question.
But that's the thing, because this was their developers conference. We don't expect when WWDC comes around that when Apple say we're going to do this and this and this, next week they're going to release it all and we're going to do it. This is them saying this is what we want to do. You know, we're saying, are they going to release it tomorrow? They're not. This is them saying in 6 months' time and a year's time, this is what we want.
Yeah,
but that's where talk's cheap.
Yeah. And that's the difference to Apple. I mean, Apple basically says, okay, here's the thing we're doing, and here's basically you can download, or at least developers can download it today.
There's a side there from Muller, but I'm sorry, he's right in the fact that Apple announced something when it's happening. They don't tease you with something, and then 6 months down the line go, well, we didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The only thing they've been like that lately is the Mac Pro, where they said, yes, we're making a new one, but it's going to be a year or so before you get it.
Yeah,
I think they just took that as pressure, though. I think they responded to public pressure on that rather than a necessity.
And here's somebody else but that takes 6 weeks to get delivered, 12 months after being announced.
There's a couple of comments here from Mr. Batwinch, who I'm surprised he's been let out of the cupboard, but well done, Drew. Fluent UI looks really nice if Microsoft carry it off. There's my point. And the next one he's put is Windows on ARM could open up some really interesting hardware too. There's my point. If and could. When they do, and will, and are, and can, then I'll sing their praises fully. But they've got to put real technology in real people's hands at a realistic price.
They have Windows 10.
Oh, apparently Batwinch says he's only been allowed to do the ironing. He's only been allowed out of the cupboard to do the ironing, and she's now going round to find out what he's doing talking on here. Sorry, Drew.
Busted,
mate, busted. Patrice, your story. Elon Musk teases video of electric sled. Here we go. We're into all mouth and no trousers. Elon's.
Exactly. Kind of. You might have heard that Elon Musk talked about the Boring Company that he created, talking about, I think, creating tunnels where cars can, kind of drive in, so to solve the traffic issues that, I mean, especially I think California, LA, San Francisco, that area is having, but I think all around the world that's happening. And I think a couple of days ago, he basically sent out the video of their test of the electric sleds that they want to use. So the idea of those tunnels being, the tunnels are smaller than the usual tunnels that we know, because we are not actually driving in there. It's an electric sled where
because they've only got to fit Elon in there.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. So I mean, the idea I think overall is pretty neat. I'm not sure this is a good one. I mean, he was talking about like 40, 50 levels deep that we would need to really have an impact on the traffic situation. I don't think that's going to work. I mean, with all the all the electricity and all the tunnels that are already existing, I think it would be pretty hard and crazy expensive to do what he thinks is possible. Still, I think it's an intriguing idea to say, instead of hoping and waiting for flying cars, let's go into the other direction, where it is even today possible to have more highways, basically.
Yeah, I mean, his thing is, I mean, you can look at the picture there I've just posted for scale. You're only fitting one car down that pipe. This is
but that's the point.
Yeah, it's Elon's car.
There could be little captures, couldn't they? Just fired along.
No, the idea that he has is basically you drive into kind of an elevator into those slats that they are testing right now. It goes down into the tunnel, and then you shoot basically with an electric train almost. You scoot around those small tunnels to wherever you want, and then you come back to ground level. So as I said, I think the idea is kind of interesting.
It's a bit like what the banks used to have, didn't they? Where you have those little sucky things that you just put the thing in.
The pneumatic tubes, right?
Yeah. You know, all the tellers are upstairs, and you just got your thing back, and your money was in the tube.
Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. So it's, as I said, it's. I'm not sure it's feasible. The way he thinks it is, but it's kind of an interesting idea, and I mean, he is executing on it. I mean, we cannot buy it, but at least I think he has built a tunnel, a small scale. We saw the video where he's testing the sled, so he's at least putting some money where his mouth is, and not just talking about what he might do and what idea he might have. I mean, he even created a company for it. That's cheap, but it's still more than just talking about it.
I totally agree. I mean, but his ability to do is significantly greater than most of people's, isn't it? So,
yeah.
It might work in a city, but it's not going to work over long distances. Because how would you drill a hole between cities? It'd be very expensive.
That's part of his plan, though.
But
Yeah.
with the technology we've got at the moment, that would be frightening. I mean, how much is Crossrail cost?
Yeah, 15 billion pounds, wasn't it?
And how long is it?
And the United States is so tectonically active.
Hang on. Before we start slagging off Crossrail,
I'm not slagging it off, I'm just saying.
No. But how much does it cost? You've got to bear in mind the amount of buried infrastructure there is in the route that it's taken, and the fact that there's a river in the route that it's taken, as well as that you don't want to breach, really. If you can possibly help it.
If nobody's watched the $15 billion railway, if I remember right, it was the BBC documentary. It is a fantastic program. It shows how they navigate the river, they navigate existing tube lines. It's amazing.
Yeah, but it still costs that money. So how's he going to...
Oh, that's cheap, mate. That is dirt cheap for what it's had to do.
How long is Crossrail?
And
10 miles?
No, it's not about the distance, you muppet. It's about what they've had to do to achieve it. I am biased because I work on the rail network, but one thing I will say is I'm not biased because what I actually see is the effort that people put into precision. When you get a railway back after it's been renewed, it is accurate to within 5 millimetres. Bear in mind that they're putting down stone that is 50 millimetres across. And yet the rail track itself is to within 5 millimetres of specification.
Yeah, but he's talking about putting this between cities in America, which are hundreds of miles apart.
Yeah, but there's absolutely sod all in between them. That's the point.
Yeah.
You're not navigating around existing infrastructure.
It's the actual distance that's going to be the...
Yeah, but it's go underground and dig. It's not go underground and you have to be certain heights above and or below existing things that are already there. There's nothing under the ground at the minute in between the cities. It's go down, dig in a straight line, come up.
Exactly.
I urge you.
You just have to avoid the different water tables.
I urge you to go. No, I urge you to go on Google and to look at the underground maps of the stations that you currently use. Okay, just go and look at the way that they're laid out and whether they're subsurface or whether they're on deep tube or that kind of stuff. Just look at the way that they're laid out and you will look at them. They are like ants' nests underneath. Don't forget as well that there is as many disused tube lines because they were too narrow because they took smaller trains on smaller gauges for 150 years before they were built. And you will not get your breath. The infrastructure in London is mind-blowingly complex. I'm not having that, Muller. Good job you're on mute, innit?
I think watch $15 billion railway because it shows you not only how they navigate through what's already underground, but how they had to do all the precision measuring of all of the buildings above ground to make sure that none of them moved. Yeah. And then when they did, they had to fill holes to underground strengthen just to support what they were doing. Unbelievable. I'm putting the YouTube link in for the trailer into the chat room now, but hunt out the full documentary.
One thing I will say to that is that has a little bit to do with how deep you can actually go with the tube stations, because people have at least they have to kind of walk usually to the tube stations, so you can't go miles and miles and miles deep. And I think that limits somehow, or that makes it a little bit more expensive. What Elon is saying, you could go really, really, really deep, so it doesn't really matter whether there are any buildings on top of them or not, because it's all an elevator and you're sitting in your car, so it really doesn't matter how deep you go and how many levels even underneath that are. And I think the other thing he's saying is the most traffic jams and the most traffic issues are in urban areas, not between big cities. So that's where the biggest issue and where the biggest benefits are. So I don't even think what Muller is saying even matters. And then he could build his, what was the other thing? This vacuum tube train thing.
I've got another problem about fault lines, particularly in certain areas around
massive issue.
That's an issue. That's a real issue.
And the other one that Jeff brought up, water tables. It's just it's complex. We go over that sort of distance. I'm not criticising Crossrail. I'm just saying that is a short distance and costs loads of money. To go hundreds of miles between major US cities is going to be, I think, prohibitive.
Yeah, but I think if you look at the Channel Tunnel, I'm just going to get the costs of that out, but
that was 25 years, 30 years ago.
Yeah, no. But even if you add for inflation, the cost of the Channel Tunnel is nowhere.
It's 100 plus million billion.
It wasn't 100 million billion trillion. Muller's right. Actually, it was $1 bajillion.
Yeah, but to be fair, the pound sterling was a lot stronger then, right?
5.8 billion.
Yeah, for what distance?
For 22 miles, and that was carved under through free granite, mate.
Yeah.
So now that would probably cost you around 15 billion.
Not more than that.
But it's still through
30 years ago. That was.
But it's still through clear soil. That's the issue. Whereas you have not got the surveying for Crossrail must have been mind blowing, utterly mind blowing. And one of the things that I get as well is that some of the other possessions that I have to go and film, they're like, well, we've got this possession this weekend, and you're like, well, why have you got the possession weekend? That makes no sense. West Ham are at home, and they go, it's the only time we can interface with Crossrail, so that Crossrail can get the possession as well as, so that we can then not disrupt London Underground and not disrupt Network Rail as well as, and not disrupt DLR, and then we can get the position, and both of us can get it done at the same time. And it's like, but you're shutting the tube station for West Ham. Well, okay, we planned this 3 years ago. West Ham decided to play Fulham last 6 months ago. I'm sorry, but tough.
Who cares about West Ham?
No. You know what I mean. Don't make this into something it isn't. For God's sake, this is my livelihood. What I'm saying is, there are lots of people who care deeply about your railway and the way that it's managed and the way that it's repaired. And when I see people on Twitter slagging it off, there's a guy at London Underground who mops the platform clean at 4 a.m. in the morning. So the first person that comes down is standing on a dry, super clean platform. You wouldn't even know they've been there apart from the stones changed. It is impressive work.
And as someone as tourist basically has visited London quite a lot of times, that has impressed me how clean it actually is, even all day. I mean, given how many million people go through it, it's really, really clean.
4.2 million per day travel the
Wow.
London Tube. It's the most used railway anywhere in the world, and it's the oldest infrastructure that we've got. If you look at the amount of people per kilometre as well, it's way beyond Singapore and all those kind of places. And Singapore's was built on concrete, purpose built for it's significantly easier. What's a Beamer, says Bowich?
It's a BMW.
A Beamer, right? Got you.
Yeah.
Muller, here's your chance, mate. AI detective analysis, police data to learn how to crack cases.
Well, yeah, I've just come across this story this morning, and I thought it was quite interesting. I mean, there have been a number of systems before I left the job that does something similar to this, and probably Jeff may have come across some of the stuff as well. I mean, when I first joined, there was a thing called, what's it called? It was named after something after Sherlock anyway. Holmes, that was it, the Holmes system. But that was pretty, I don't know, clunky compared to what they're about now.
Was it elementary?
Elementary, yeah. Well, the home system basically was keyword driven, I think. I operated it. I didn't know how it worked, but and before I left, there was a lot of systems that used crime analysis, and going back 25 years ago, we were doing that sort of thing. But this new system, and actually the West Midlands Police are trying it out with anonymised data called Valkyrie.
Because that operation went well, didn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
So West Midlands Police have created a new operation to kill Hitler and seize 1945 Germany.
If you look, it's spelled slightly different.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Where's the joke in that? There's no fun in that, is there?
I know. And also, it's not West Midlands Police that have developed this. They're just helping test it. Anyway, well, this is quite revolutionary because it also looks at video. So it basically looks at video, intelligence links, statements, and brings everything together. And I think actually I'd love to see this in operation, but it looks at an absolute tremendous system. It looks at all sorts of things, records, videos, pictures, videos twice, but and hopefully it'll go cross border as well. Hopefully it's going to be a national system, because I think a lot of the problems were, particularly in the UK, is that there's too many forces and none of them talk to each other. We all know this from child pornography instances. So I think this is quite an interesting development, and hopefully it'll learn. And apparently it's a learning machine as well. So it gets better as it gets more data and gets used more. So I think this is an exciting development.
So what's it actually doing? Is it looking for trend analysis across open cases, or is it using existing data with closed cases to form a model?
It uses it all. It looks like it's actually going to be used for actually solving crime and also predicting crime. Because we've had systems for about 25 years that look for crime trend analysis, but it's the old adage, isn't it? And we probably all recognise this: put shit in, you get shit out.
Well, yeah, okay.
Sorry, bleep that then.
No, it's fair.
But what this is doing, it's taking more data, so hopefully that will even out that sort of data input. And so hopefully, because it's taking stuff that's probably not totally meant for the actual investigation itself, it's also taking other data sources. So obviously this is only a small article.
So what's the concerns with it though? Where's the discussion that we're going to have when you finish talking?
Well, it's going to be privacy. I suppose it's going to be privacy though, isn't it? Where does all this data go from, and what control do you have over it? But having said that, a lot of the data that gets used now for these kind of things is all sorts of things like stop and searches, you reporting a crime, you even registering your car with DVLA puts you in a database that can be searched by the police. So it's nothing different that's going on already, but it's Big Brother, I suppose. But having said that, it's quite cool, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, from a technology perspective, it's definitely cool, and I mean, I can see other uses for this kind of technology, not just for solving crimes or preventing crime. But yeah, I'm a little bit concerned that it's, I mean, like pre-crime or Big Brother, really. I mean, give it a couple of years and the right political climate, and you never know what can happen with that kind of power and that kind of data. So I'm a little concerned.
I don't think it could be. It's pre-crime.
It could be used for that, right?
Well, a lot of the stuff that's used now is used for predicting where to put patrols.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, car crime. Say they take all the crime reports for car crime. So I'll urge anyone that has their car broken into, please report it. I'm no longer in the job, but it does help the systems because it helps to predict where the next car crime is going to happen. So you can say, oh, the police won't look into it, the police won't do anything about it, but it does help the systems go, well, we need to target this area because the car crime's going up. And the systems have been quite accurate, even 20, 25 years ago, predicting where crime hotspots are, and they call them hotspots, by the way.
Yeah.
So it is worth reporting crime, even if they may not solve your crime.
Well, all right, who's back? Jeff Gavitt's back.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that it's yes, it probably could be used for evil, but it only can predict what's going into it, if you know what I'm saying.
There's a person that Muller and I both know, and I was driving around the North Circular the other week, and there was some kids on motorbikes and mopeds that decided to just pull out and ride all over the carriageway and do wheelies and that kind of stuff. I captured them all on my dash cam. And I talked to this person and said, you know, is this any use? And he said, well, probably all of that stuff's nicked anyway, so it wouldn't help us in terms of the registration plates. But it would help us to know where they were at what time, because they can track the locations of them, and they then start patterns, and they follow patterns because we are creatures of habit, and it's tracking the pattern that actually deals with an awful lot more of the stuff than necessarily. And I go back, this is going to be a stupid analogy, but it is right. Is if do you remember Point Break with Keanu?
Yeah.
And he goes in and he talks to the chief, and the chief says, this is where we solve crimes, in the office, crunching data, looking at what goes on. Have you got me, sport? And he says, yes, sir, I even take the skin off chicken. But that bit there where he says, most crimes are solved by analysis of data is true. Absolutely true. Mm-hmm. Because we're stupid as human beings.
Yeah. The other thing I've heard, and I don't know in which podcast that was, probably Science Versus or something, is that those systems, because they analyze historic data, have an inherent bias, or racial bias, actually, because that's what the data is showing, and it's not looking behind or trying to even looking behind the reasons for this kind of bias, or even trying to prevent that from being this way. It's just basically, I think one example they made is, most, or I think a higher percentage of, property crimes are done in the US are done by black people. So it will target them more and have more police force in areas where this kind of people, these areas where this happens, and that doesn't solve really the issue.
Did you listen to the Radiolab episode the other week where they were talking about shootings? And
maybe that was the episode I was talking about.
Yeah, but they went to Miami-Dade County, and they spoke to the chief of police there, and he says, we analyse our traffic stops. And we know that there are 40% black and 60% white in Miami-Dade, and we look for a 40%, 60% split in traffic stops, because it stands to reason, if that's a split of your population, that's a split of your preemptive stops. Yeah. And if they're not, If we're talking about 95% black stop and 5% white stop, then we start pulling officers in and going, what the hell are you doing? Because this cannot be true, because the statistic of population has to at least be close to the statistic of random, in inverted commas, stoppage. And that's where you then have to make sure that you
also program the system this way, right?
No, there has to be a thought. So in any of the data that you analyse in this system that Muller's put up there has to be a check and balance that goes back and says, does this reflect societal norms? Does this reflect societal patterns? Does this look at the split of population and the actions of population based on historical value? It can't be just about the records that you've gathered back from Birmingham Serious Crime Squad. You're Irish, you'll do.
Yeah, right.
To be perfectly honest, a lot of the data from those sort of times wasn't digitised, so it's not going to happen.
It wasn't thought out well either.
But the thing is that weight is put on more current. I mean, from the stuff that I knew, you put more weight on current data than you would on previous data.
Yeah.
And there becomes a time where some data is actually weeded out the system because it's irrelevant, or it's old, or it's no longer, or because the law says you've got to get rid of it for a start.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's Data Protection Act. Let's not go down that road. But the thing is, with hotspot data, you only want current stuff. Really, you only want 5 or 6 weeks of data because trends change. But this is also for solving crime, not just for predicting crime. It's actually for solving crime. So it's probably a little bit different. But for patrolling data, you do need current crime data, and crime data is normally anonymized. You know what I mean?
Anonymized. I wouldn't mind, but the whiskey's just to his left, and we haven't even opened it yet.
No, but they try to get rid of all the race out of it, but try to say this is the time, this is the place, and this is the car. So you're looking at the kind of car they're breaking into, the time it's being broken into, and the location it's being broken into, and then trying to get a hot spot and then direct your patrols to that area. And they've been doing that for 20, 25 years. And the car crime has dropped, I would say, exponentially over the years.
Right, just through prediction of trend analysis.
Oh, God, And also by more intelligent use of patrolling strategy.
But that's the case in all sort of data analysis, isn't it?
Epidemiology is your friend, yeah, absolutely.
The trend is the most important thing. When I was in IT support, it was, obviously not the same sort of thing as crime or anything, but it was predicting the trends that would be coming up with the start of year stuff and all those sort of things that'd be the most important things to focus your resources on, and those sort of things. And we do the same thing here with the online courses we build. The online trends of what works for people and what doesn't work for people. It helps you target resources in the most important places, and big data analysis is key.
And I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And as with any statistics, basically, you have to be careful that you don't that you don't take a correlation as a causation. And I think that's exactly the point.
Yeah. No, all data. I mean, it's there's a great thing by a guy called Philip Selznick, which is seek simplicity. When you find it, distrust it. And it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Look for your trend, find your trend. When you get your trend and it shows what you think, go, well, it shouldn't have shown that. Why does it show that? Because that's not what I've expected. Well, it is what I've expected, and I shouldn't trust myself.
Oh, dear.
Muller's got me a whiskey. There we go.
It's all gone wrong
Show's
now.
nearly over. Jeffrey, have you got a story for us, mate?
Of course I do.
You're too polite, mate. You don't put it in the chat room fast enough.
No, everyone else was busy trying to get their stories in, and
you just let them go, mate, because you know that yours is going to beat everyone else's, don't you? There's going to be some vibrating thing that operates via your iPhone, and
no, I didn't go with porn today. Surprisingly, had I known that we were going to start the show with Hot Boss, and then I would have picked a completely
we don't
different
say
time.
Hot Boss on.
Oh God, I'm so fired.
Did you mark the time? You can edit that out.
He won't get it.
I followed her on Twitter. the thing is that bothers me, right, is I've followed her on Twitter, and I'm worried that she's going to see me come up. She's going to send me a message and go, "Thanks for following me, but how do I know you?" And I don't know how to answer that.
Because
don't, right?
But she won't do that though, because if she looks at your feed, she'll say that basically broadcasting in 25 minutes with Paulums.
Oh,
and then she'll, yeah.
Unfollow quick.
at BritishTechNetwork.com/live. Let's click that link, shall we, hot boss?
I'm sorry I got you fired.
Righty, do you want me to unfollow?
Quick.
No, I'm just going to move to Boulder and be just Red Boy.
You're going to move to Ipswich.
We're going to have so much fun.
I'm so worried I'm going to move to Ipswich.
No one moves to Ipswich.
People only leave Ipswich.
Ah, Jesus.
Do you own a tractor? If you do, you can move to Ipswich.
Is it like a witness protection sort of location?
And
Ipswich.
back to Jeff's story.
Worse than that, Jeff. Worse than that.
Ipswich, that's fantastic. Ipswich is where everybody in the British Witness Protection Programme goes, because no one goes there.
We've lost all the viewers.
If they get found in Ipswich, they just move to Norwich.
So I assume everyone in the town is named John Smith.
No, we do have a thing here, like all the good live acts and stuff that never come to Norwich always go to Ipswich, and I go, Joe, so and so is playing. So where is it, Ipswich? Screw that, we're not going there.
Yeah, wouldn't set foot in Ipswich. Got to be dead to go before I go to Ipswich. Jeffrey, you say that the Galaxy S8 is the most fragile handset ever.
The most breakable smartphone ever. So it turns out it doesn't matter what position the Galaxy S7 is in when it hits the ground, it is going to break. So,
is this from the website Will It Drop?
No, they're oh crap, who did this initially? It was I think it was a group that checks out quality of products for insurance companies. So it should have been
Square Trade.
There we go. Square Trade. Yep. So yeah, it turns out that that it doesn't matter how you drop an S8, it's going to break. So my big question is, didn't Samsung bother to do any testing on this phone?
So to be fair, they've dropped it from 6 feet onto the leg of a tripod. It's not like it's fallen flat. It's fallen across a device that would bend it.
Right, but even
so the iPhone's not
when it falls
withstand
flat,
that.
it breaks.
Right.
It's turned out it doesn't matter what position it's in when it hits something. It's just going to break.
Okay.
Yeah. So I should have brought a porn story.
No. Does this matter though?
Well, is that the screen though? Is it the fact that the screen wraps around? That must be even more points for breakage.
Well, the whole thing's glass, is it not?
Yeah, but it wraps around the side as well. So you'd have this thing where your iPhone lands flat on its face, and you're like, oh bugger, it's like Schrodinger's cat. Do I pick up on? Is it broken underneath? If I don't pick up, it's not. But the thing with that is it's got so many different points of impact. That phone, it's guaranteed to break, isn't it?
I've got a suggestion. Don't drop it.
Oh, thank you, brother. Yeah, we'll put that on the box.
Isn't the story here though that the S8 is made of Gorilla Glass, and Gorilla Glass is meant to be extremely tough?
Yeah.
So is this story more about?
And
it almost says it in the first line. Gorilla Glass isn't as tough as it's meant to be.
And Gorilla Glass is made by Corning, who have just had 1 billion shoved into them by Apple.
No, 200 million.
200 million off a 1 billion fund. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't Gorilla Glass so scratch resistant and impact resistant to the front, not on the edge? Because glass is very delicate if you drop it on edges anyway. So I used to be a glass blower.
It's okay. The glass was consensual.
Well, yeah.
Oh, man. There's got to be a line in there, but I can't think of it quick enough.
You can think of it later.
So Corning has spent the last 10 years refining Gorilla Glass, and I think we're on the 5th generation now. And yeah, it's very scratch resistant, it's very break resistant, and the current version is much more resistant to cracks and breaking on edge drops than previous versions.
Back when she's adding to the conversation by saying glass is a brittle material.
It's a liquid,
In the
actually.
chat room.
Glass is a liquid.
Not when it's set, surely.
No,
It's a solid.
liquid. It's always liquid.
It's always liquid.
Yep.
I've heard that too.
It's a non-Newtonian fluid or something.
Oh, it's a bit more complicated than that. Let's
Can't
not
be
get-
liquid because it's cracked.
No, it is liquid.
Liquid don't be cracking.
If you, well, you know,
It do be.
Liquid don't be cracking.
It do be.
I had to replace the windows
Liquid
in my
don't be
house
cracking.
because
It do
all the
be.
glass had sunk to the bottom of the frames. A liquid, it's still liquid all the time. It's still affected by gravity, and it will find down the lowest level.
Top return in Google, glass is a liquid myth.
Nah, it's still, it does work.
The myth has finally been destroyed.
Well, there we go.
20 globs of billion-year-old amber science have proven that once for all, glass does not flow. It is not a liquid.
No, that's rubbish.
Moving on.
Well,
Moving on.
the window panes
right,
in my
so-
house actually argued with that.
So does Samsung need to be doing
The bloke who
better,
repaired your
quality control on
windows.
their products?
That empirical study from the bloke who repaired your windows.
Not repaired, replaced.
Replaced your windows. Bollocks. Right, sorry, go on. Back to your story, Jeff.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Does Samsung need to change how they're doing quality control testing on their products? Because it seems that a phone that breaks no matter how you drop it is probably there's a bad design issue somewhere.
But bearing in mind the stick Apple got for Bengate, absolutely.
Yeah. And Apple did the glass front and glass back thing with the iPhone 4 series. So it's not like there isn't any
but that wasn't
data out
Gorilla
there.
Glass. Because I remember, because I was at Macworld and I had a Windows phone, a 1020, and we got a picture outside the Chinese. I don't know if I think you were in that picture, Jeff. Where there was, do you remember there was a drunk dwarf that we stopped?
Oh, that's right. And she dropped your phone.
And she dropped my phone and it landed smack on its front. And everyone's going, "Oh my God, that's the end of Ewan's phone!" And I picked it, and went,
But it was fine.
Corning Glass, Gorilla Glass, because none
Gorilla
of you
Glass.
have got Gorilla Glass, because the iPhone didn't have Gorilla Glass at that point. It was myth that it was going to
The
come in the
iPhone
last
has always
model,
had
and it
Gorilla
didn't.
Glass.
No, it has not. It absolutely has not, and I will go to war over that, mate. Because
Apple said today it's always had Gorilla Glass.
No, it hasn't. Definitely
well, that's what
hasn't.
Apple said.
Well, Apple's lying. Apple's lying. The spurious bullshit. Because it definitely didn't. Because I had Gorilla Glass in. No, it was Gorilla Glass 3. You guys had Gorilla Glass 2. That was it. Sorry. And I went Gorilla Glass 3 doesn't break. And you all had 2. That was it. I do apologise. Yes, they did have Gorilla Glass, but you had 2 and I had 3.
Yes, but the Gorilla Glass on your phone was newer and better.
Yes, and it was still liquid, allegedly.
That's why it's
So it didn't break, it splashed.
It splashed. It splashed on a pavement in San Francisco thanks to a drunk bitch dwarf, but survived. And
that was an awesome night.
my enduring memory of that whole evening was the fact that we went back to what's his name's room, the guy that lives in Chicago.
Oh, Barry.
Barry.
We went back to
to Barry
Barry's
Falk's room, and I took a couple of pictures with my phone, and I passed it to Alison Sheridan, who wanted to just go, "This is a piece of shit," and break it over an inch. She went, "Actually, it's quite good, isn't it?"
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot, considering how much we drank that night.
Alison Sheridan was not the biggest fan of anything that's not Apple, so. But her husband, Steve, fantastic bloke.
Oh yeah, they're just a fantastic couple.
Yeah, they do retirement really well, which pisses me off even more.
Oh my God, yeah, they do retirement better than anyone. Yeah.
Oh my God. I should have put into a pension.
I've found another article. Glass does flow, albeit very slowly over time. The molecules making glass shift themselves and set onto a more stable crystalline formation. Basically, they do flow. They do move.
I found a story which fulfills my bollocks.
Well, it's an American
stop right there, mate.
scientific site.
Stop right there. There's only one American on this panel. He's outnumbered.
Yeah, but
yeah, right. And his country's going to hell in a handcart, according to him. So.
Yeah, but it also talks about what happened to my windows in my house, that they did actually become thicker at the bottom than they were at the top. Glass settles over time.
Who's got the next story? Jesus Christ. Is it fragile shit? I think we're all agreeing yes it is. Because I looked at the tumbler test there, Jeff, and that looks like it should have survived that, because that box is only sort of 2 foot square, cube.
Yeah.
It should have survived that.
It should have survived.
And it didn't. Camps, what's your story, mate? Have you done yours? We've done yours.
Done mine.
Patrice, there's only you left, mate, because Rich is gone.
I already had one. The Elon Musk boring tunnel thing.
You did?
Yeah. Well done.
We haven't done Rich. Oh, okay, fair enough. This podcast and all this is brought to you by UK2. Please support them, because they look after us, as always. I want to thank Jake Bishop at this point, because he's just reminded me to play my Dartford Tunnel Crossing charge, which I've just done, and I'd have been fined £100 without him. So it's cost me £2.50, and he's just, as second week as an employee, he's just saved my arse. Well done, Jake. Superb. UK2 look after us. Please look after them. Go to bridgetechnetwork.com/sponsors, and you'll get all the offer codes that you can get with UK2 that just almost deplete your cart entirely if you buy the right things. 20% off domains. There is no one better than these people. And actually, we've been looking at a project that me and Anders are doing. We've been using the UK2 server that we've got just as a temporary measure, just because we wanted to trial it. And we've been looking into using other services. Because we may have to ditch, because we can't put the data load through the UK2 server. It's taking the piss a bit, and we just said, well, let's have a shop around for prices. Actually, UK2 came back as the cheapest, and we went to Paul Shadwell over in Zurich, who's got his own servers, and said, what can you do about these prices? And he said, actually, I can't match those. They're really, really, really good prices, which is great to know, actually, that UK2 are that good. And the thing is, as well, not only they're cheaper, but you get all the fantastic customer services that UK2 offer that back it up as well as. So go to UK2, support them. Make sure you use our links and our clicks through so that we get the kudos for it. Make sure that you send a tweet out that says thanks for supporting British Tech at UK2. Brilliant, brilliant people. Who's excited about Uniku?
Me.
Oh, mate. So in 3 weeks' time, the full scanner will be at Wrexham, which is Hoyer's UK headquarters. I will be going up there with Jake Bishop, and we will be filming me having me face properly fitted. This was just like a little trial fit that was done at the OPEX exhibition, where Mark just got a bland set of glasses that kind of looked like they'd be all right, and fitted them to me face and just said, here's how it works, and I got the basics of it. But I'm going up for me full fitting in 3 weeks' time or so, and the correct set of spectacles for me will be fitted with the lens in the perfect position, and then the frames built around them. They will be uniquely made to the point that they have my own initials on the inside. They will fit no one else but me, and they will fit my face perfectly. I cannot wait. Camps, you're using Hoyer frame or lenses, aren't you, in those frames?
We're using Hoyer lenses, so way better than the standard.
Yeah, curvature
that they got from the opticians. Way better glass.
If you've got an existing set of frames that you love and you just want some Hoyer lenses in them, you can do that, which is what Camps did. He went and got them done. Or you can do what me and Muller have done and get the Avantec lenses, which come, and they are beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. Do make sure that you check out podcast@hoyer.co.uk. Send them an email and they will tell you where the nearest thing is, where the nearest fitter is. Go into your local optician and say, excuse me, do you do Hoyer lenses? And they go, no. And you go, oh, it's a shame. And walk out. That's all you got to do. Plain and simple. The other thing that's coming up is the Bash. It's on the 1st of July. You need to buy your ticket by the 1st of June because I am committed then to the venue. And if I do not have 50 people, I will not be booking the venue. We'll be having a barbecue in my back garden. So you won't lose your money if you've booked a hotel or anything like that. It will just be a significantly smaller Bash, and the tickets will stop if we don't have enough. We are not underwriting it to the same degree as we did last year. I was out of pocket £900 last year running it. So please make sure you get your purchases in for Bash tickets. BritishTechNetwork.com/Bash tickets. £10 for the curry, £20 for adults for the Bash, and £5 for children because there's little sods ate all the food last year. So there is a nominal charge, if you like, to get them in. So please make sure you get your Bash tickets bought ASAP. Otherwise, there will not be a Bash for you.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm coming over from Germany, so I mean, I think there's really no reason other than being on the other side of the Atlantic, like Jeff, for example, to not come to the Bash.
If you want to know about commitment, talk to Patrice.
Exactly.
That's commitment right there.
Absolutely. Time for the cuisine. Start us off, please, Monsieur Campion.
There you go. So there's mine. So this is something I want, whether it's something I'll be allowed, and it's something that isn't yet available. But Lego have released the Apollo Saturn V.
No!
A 1 meter tall replica
Oh
of the
my
1969 Saturn V rocket.
Now, did you notice the part count for the kit?
Yes, 1,969 pieces.
And it comes with an Apollo
Well done,
lander
Lego. It does.
and with a splashdown module.
It does. It comes in. You can break it into 3 separate parts. Well, you can break it into 1,969 separate parts, but three separate parts. It comes with the stand to lay it on its side.
It's got the orbiter.
It's stunning.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! It's got the name. It's got everything.
And the price, I think for this model is brilliant. $120 in the US and reportedly £109 in the UK.
Oh my god!
It's priced really well.
It's priced really well.
It's priced like a set of Apple earphones that are going to take 6 weeks to deliver.
Yeah, this for me is a real cool thing.
Right.
So yeah, guess what I'll be ordering on June 1st.
Follow that, you buggers.
Something I want. I don't know if I've got anywhere big enough to put this in the house, but yeah, so definitely something that's on the birthday list.
Add to wish list. Done.
Yeah.
Unreal. I can't show you a picture because I can't. They've done that stupid. Oh, you can zoom, but you can't capture bit. So bollocks to you for that because I don't want to buy it now because of that. But then I relent and I do want to buy it. Saturn V rocket, the whole shebang, 300 meters, condensed into a 1/300th scale. I've got a 144th scale Saturn V rocket in the other room that I haven't made yet.
Is that the Airfix one?
Yeah.
I remember them for years ago.
I haven't made it yet, but oh mate, that is a cool pick. That is, yeah. Follow that, Jeff.
All right. Well, then we'll
actually,
stick
no,
with the
Jeff.
space theme.
Jeff.
This is where Jeff comes up with another similar shaped 1 meter object.
That vibrates and lights up, so you can see where to put it in the dark. No, I'll stick with the space theme. There is this really cool website called Lightyear FM, and what the site does is play the music you would hear if you were traveling light years away from Earth. So it starts with music from I think it's 1906 that would be playing on the radio, and so the music you would hear if you're, say, 50 light years away from Earth or 100 light years away from Earth. And it's constantly updating because music is still being created, of course. And it's just this really cool website. And it's just fun to kind of look and see
That is pretty cool.
What music you would hear, assuming the radio signals would actually go that far. Because our radio signals for this sort of transmission are not making it 100 light years from Earth.
I spoke to Ellis the other day because we were talking about traveller stuff, and I mentioned Voyager, and I said, so in 1975 and 1977 there was these two spacecraft that were launched, Voyager 1, Voyager 2, and there was a disc on there, and it had messages, and it had simple mathematical equations to try and communicate, and music and that kind of stuff. And he looked at me and I said, so that is no longer in our solar system. It's gone past that. It's taken it since 1975 to get outside our solar system. And if it travelled back to our planet at the speed of light, it would take it a whole day to get back to us. And he's looking at me like, I've lost you. I've utterly lost you. I have no clue what you're talking about. And I blew his mind just by talking about this thing that we launched into space that was now beyond our solar system. So when's it going to get to the nearest star? Okay, well, it probably never will in my lifetime, and it probably won't. It certainly won't in your lifetime either. It'll be many generations from now if it even gets close to a star. And I don't think it's even pointed at a particular star to try and get there. It's just gone into the ether, mate. I'm afraid and it's just his head was just blown.
You'll get picked up by an evil alien robot empire. We'll send it back.
Yep. In a couple of 100 years' time.
No, because that's the point. Is by the time it all comes back and it's ready to destroy the planet, it'll still have William Shatner in the front of it going, "I'm here to damn you, Khan," and and everyone go, "Who's this bloke? He's a really crap actor, isn't he?"
Yeah.
He can't sing, he can't sing.
I'm gonna get hate mail now. William Shatner's a god, you bastard.
No, he's not.
Batwench asked me if I've seen the Star Trek film. Jesus Christ.
No, I think whether Ellis has seen it.
Ewan.
Oh,
or Ellis.
that's no relevance. Vija. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. Good pick, mate. I like that. Lightyear FM. I'm going to give it a go. I've actually pulled it down and I've put it onto my my bookmarks bar so that I can have a listen in the future. Righty, what have you got for us, boy?
I don't think I've done this before. Have I ever done my pointless Daft Punk iOS app? I don't think I have, have I?
Go on.
So this is the completely pointless Modern Motion Daft Punk app. So it's kind of a game. It's kind of a soundboard. It's kind of all those things. So you know the old Daft Punk thing. So if we play a little bit of hear this, yeah, and then what you got here, you got a little soundboard of all the words for the songs. So if you're really clever, and I probably won't do it, so you and then using the soundboard, you can then do the words. So see, and you can remix the song. And I'm absolutely crap at it, but I'll tell you what, that's bloody fun that is in the morning. Drives the wife mad, so I'll try again. Makes us harder. There you go. Makes us harder. Makes us harder. That's BTN down to a T, isn't it? So, absolutely pointless, absolutely free, but God, I enjoyed playing that game.
That's great.
I'm sitting
Just so you can play the words "makes us harder" all the time.
I can see me going for a shit at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
And
Play the word "makes us harder."
And going, makes us harder.
No, Sharon divorcing me.
I think you do it without the.
Because I'm sitting playing it in the bog. It's bad enough when I'm playing snooker with the volume down.
I think you do it without the thing as well.
Makes us harder. Back when she's still posting Wrath of Khan. To be fair, she's posted Wreath of Khan. There you go. Thanks, thanks, Righty.
That's great. Already downloaded.
Oh, but Daft Punk would like to send you notifications. No, I think not.
No.
You should be playing this, and Patrice hates the French.
And if you want to know what that's in reference to, you'll have to listen to this week's Mac Show.
Yes.
Patrice admitted. Thank you. Makes it less French. Patrice, what have you got for us, mate?
Yeah, I've been struggling a little bit to find the appropriate pick for the show, but I didn't want to pick the charging cable I got today, but I want to pick something, an app or a service that's related. It's called the New Motion or New Motion, and it's a electric charging network basically. Works with a lot of services, also in the UK. So I checked; it's available in a couple of countries in Europe at least. And the card is free. And if you have an electric car, or if you just want to, I don't know, get one for a couple of days, this is a great tip. And a lot of people who have electric cars have recommended that service. That's why I have this. And there's an app. I will put it in the chat if you're interested. It's also free. Yeah, that's my pick.
Excellent, mate. What have you got for us, Muller?
I've posted the link in. It's just a bit up, but Star Walk 2, the night sky view, constellations and stars.
Is it because Star Walk went through a bit of thing like it's really, really cool, but actually it wasn't very cool at all. It was a bit shit.
Well, I quite like it.
No, Skywalk, the original Skywalk was excellent.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah. I bought the Star Walk 2. I've had it for a long time. I've got all the add-ins and bits. But it's just nice to hold it up to the sky and identify what you're looking at.
Very much so. I totally agree that Skywalk is great, but...
And I'm just bringing it back to space like the rest of them.
Okay.
No, but it is good. I mean, I don't use the Apple Watch app. I don't know what that does for you.
Because you haven't got an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I can see where that would slow you down.
Sorry to be obvious.
Yeah, I know. Don't tell him about my dream.
Whoa!
So, no, Muller had a dream last night, apparently. He came in and told me today. He said, I had a dream last night that I bought an Apple Watch and I came into the studio to do the shows, and the only reason you let me on the Mac Show was so that everyone could take the piss out of me for buying an Apple Watch.
Gonna happen.
And, well, no, the thing is, that's a reality, because I would do that. Absolutely, I would do that. My cool thing. Now, do you remember the other week I gave you the cool thing, which was the smoking book? Mm-hmm. Smoking and Curing?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you buy it?
No.
Not yet.
It's in the wish list. It will be one that I'll be buying.
It's only about £8, mate. I'll buy it for you. Jesus Christ, I didn't do that hard up.
No, I've now just shoved it to one side. I'm just not around to doing it yet.
So anyway, I bought the Curing book that I mentioned the other week, and it's been great. We've had some great results. We've had some stunning bacon from it, if a little salty, it has to be said. But one other thing that I've done is almost like it's a pork belly that's not pork belly, pork loin that's got cumin in it, and it's been drying for 3 weeks now. It's absolutely stunning. I'm ready to chop it up, but I've been going over to the butcher's over the road, and he's been going, sorry, mate, you need to leave it with us to chop it up, because it's got to go really hard in the freezer before we can, or in the fridge before we can actually do it. I thought, this is crazy. I could chop my own stuff up. So, of course, I went to Amazon, and Andrew James Electric Precision Food Slicer, 19 centimetres, including the blade. It does 2 extra blades as well, so it will chop cheese, so you can do your cheese slices for your sandwich. You can do bread as well, so it will do varying degrees of chopped bread and chopped finger, and it will do meat as well, down to the level of prosciutto. So I have got my pork loin, and I'm going to try and shave it as thin as I possibly can, like prosciutto, tomorrow morning. So I may not be here with all my fingers next week, but it's a possibility. But that's the thing. It's only £50.
Oh, I'm going to bring my meat round your house.
Boom chicka wow wow. Muller doesn't need a mic then.
Oh, right, he's blushing. Look, I can see that from here.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I love this show.
So tomorrow morning at 8:30, I'm going to periscope me slicing my meat.
Oh God!
Harder.
Right, he can get stronger and harder. There we go.
Faster.
And you can compare injuries with Doc.
Oh, God.
And Doc's marrying people this afternoon. I just go, what the hell?
All of them.
Doc's explaining the sanctity of marriage to two people. That's a joke, by the way.
Oh, God. I fancy a couple of pounds of Ewan.
I couldn't.
Explicit tag, mate.
Yeah.
No. It's fine. Where can we get a hold of your camps?
You can get me at Campion UK on Twitter. You can get me in the Slack room. And writing some reviews at BritishTechNetwork.com, which will be up hopefully over this weekend. I've got 2 separate ones to get on there.
Excellent, mate. Jolly good. Your video's frozen, but Mr. Batwench is now back in the cupboard, fortunately.
Get him out of the closet.
Jeffrey, where are you, sir?
I'm hanging out over at macobserver.com and freshbrewtales.com and on Twitter and Instagram, JGammett, and on pretty much every podcast that you dare to listen to.
Mr. Batwench has apparently escaped from the cupboard, and there is now an ensuing Benny Hill type chase around the Batwench residence. So,
With Yakka sax playing, of course.
of course.
Of course.
Righty, where are you, buddy?
Oh, mate, I'm Paula's on Twitter, in the Slack room, on the Big Show, on the Pocket Show, coming soon. And if you check out BritishTechNetwork.com, we have a new thing called the Pocket Poll, which is a new feature for the Pocket Show, where we're asking a question of our listeners, which we'll bring up in the show coming forward. So check out our poll, which is at the moment taking pictures on iPads. Is it a travesty or is it a saviour?
Well, it's not a saviour, but I wouldn't say it's a travesty. So,
well, we had a lot of votes, so thank you to everyone who's voted already. But if you could take
excellent.
the time, that'd be great.
No, good on you, definitely. Pocket Show's back. When's the next one being recorded?
Hopefully, I'll get towards the camps in a bit, because we've got some ideas for bringing it forward a little bit more regularly as well. Ooh, harder.
While we're talking about shows, I'm on Cord Killers with Tom Merritt and Brian Brushwood on Monday night at midnight.
Nice.
It's going to be interesting because I've got to stay up till midnight.
That was a good show, though.
And then
For you, that will be a challenge.
Thanks, mate. So you can catch me on Cord Killers at midnight on Monday night, Tuesday morning. There you go. Where are you, Muller?
I'm on Muller Biker on Twitter, and I'll be on the A14 looking out for Paulham's bringing up his meat.
Okay.
So, Mo, did you have to read who you were?
Yeah,
off
I
your
know.
iPad? Because that's kind of how it looked to me.
Who am I?
Doesn't surprise me.
I can't read this.
Mr. Batwench loves the Pocket Show.
Good man.
Batwench has gone into the kitchen and picked up the rolling pin. They're acting this out well, aren't they? Last but by no means least, Rich has disappeared, but Rich is at the Simply Syndicated podcast. If you want to talk to him, and I don't know where he's gone and why he's not here, but he's in deep pub. Where are you, Patrice?
Well, every week on the Mac Show, everything I do on thepatrice.com. And I want to mention something because a common friend of Doc's and mine and my best friend, actually, Jerry, I don't know whether you know him, Jerome Kohler, he's having his first daughter just basically at this minute. So I wanted to mention that and wish him and his wife good luck. So
Is he broadcasting?
congrats.
Is he broadcasting on Periscope or something?
I haven't checked. I doubt it, to be honest.
I would hope so.
He's not
Jesus
that.
Christ.
I mean, they are not that kind of family, so I don't think so.
What? Who broadcast births?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I don't know any families who
Some people do
broadcast
that. So
Yeah, we talked about a story not that many weeks ago where the guy did it and then
Yeah.
it got shown on ABC, didn't it?
yeah. So it happens.
His wife divorced him, and the social services took the kid into care. But
Yeah,
yeah,
hopefully they did.
2.5 million people saw it on YouTube. My name's Ewan Rankin. You can get me at Ewan Rankin on Twitter. We'll be back again next week on Friday night as normal with The Big Show and The Mac Show on 4 o'clock on the Mac Show and 8 p.m. on The Big Show. And it'll be loads of fun and we'll have a great time. And I am doing a photo show soon, and the Pocket Show is now back thanks to Righty Boy, and the Fancy Photo League's running and the Bash is on. Man, it's an exciting time. Get your tickets bought for the Bash. See you next week. Thanks for listening.